Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another episode of Quilt Bingo. Yay! It's Quilt Bingo! Today we're going to do pineapples. So pineapples are a beautiful, very traditional block, and we're just going to have some fun with this one today. And the one I'm going to be showing you is the beginner block, and it is foundation paper piecing, so we can have a little fun with this. But first, let's do our shout out before I forget. ZMarie at ZMarie Design is on our radar today. So guys, go check her out. Her YouTube channel is going to be in our show notes below. You know, go check her out and, give her some love and encouragement and, tell her she's doing a good job. And tell her that, of course, that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Because then it'll be a fun surprise for her. She doesn't know that the shout out is coming. Also, Twinkle Twinkle is going to be our next sew-along after Quilt Bingo is done. Like, there's going to be like 3 or 4 little episode drops, and then we're going to get into, like, Twinkle Twinkle. The only hint you're getting right now is save your string. Now, strings are long, narrow pieces of fabric that aren't necessarily straight, that are left over from cutting fat quarters or yardage, right? So that's all you need to know about strings. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun with this one. And I've come up with kind of a fun idea. And if you don't like strings, or you're anti-string, or you just don't have any strings and you're not going to bother collecting them, fine. You can still cut solid pieces of your fabric, and this would work, right? So don't feel that, well, I'm left out because I don't have any string. No, you can still do this sew along with us. Also, Mini Monday, I'm not sure when this one is going to drop. Mini Monday is coming back with some changes. It'll be blocks that are less than 12.5 inches unfinished, and we'll do some small piecing, and we'll do some foundation paper piecing and English paper piecing. We might even do some hand piecing. I'm not sure yet. We've got lots and lots of ideas, but this has been, you guys have requested this, and I was like so surprised that it went over so well. So you're gonna get Mini Monday back. The Zoom sew dates are from now until the end of December in our show notes as well. It's the first Saturday of the month from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Alberta, Canada. So also share, make comments, like, subscribe, hit that bell. All of that will help our analytics, and move our videos forward so we can tell more people that we are giving away fun-free patterns every week, 3 times a week. So that's always good, and we would love to hear from you. Please make comments, even if all you've got time to do is send us a heart. That helps our analytics so much. Also, we have a Facebook group, and Virtual Sewing Room is hosted by Discord. We have so much fun in there, and the members are sewing in there, and they're just having a great time. So you now have a virtual sew date, like, 24/7. We also have numerous community chats, and we do fabric exchanges by countries. Plus, we do all the same things regular Facebook groups do, like ask questions, show quilts. It's all good. It's all good. This quilt behind me, by the way, is from our New York Beauty blocks, right? So this is one that now we've just wrapped this one up, and we filmed the last one we filmed was the borders. We did the sashing and cornerstones, and then we did the outer border. So yeah, it was fun and simple, and this quilt will be going to charity. Also, I speak for free to quilting guilds and quilting groups. I'm going to have a second speaking engagement ready for you by December of 2025. So if you've heard from me already and you would like me to come back with my new speaking engagement, that's fine, because I'm going to talk about different topics, right? So this is we're hoping you guys, come and book me up. Now, you can either contact me through email or the Facebook group through Messenger, and I'm much faster at the Facebook group than I am through email. Also, if you guys have shout outs, please send them to me. If you see a quilting channel that is working hard and having fun and, needs some help, please, by all means, send them my way, and I'd be happy to give them a shout out, because they're just doing, there's a lot of very talented YouTubers right now making content about quilting, and you guys might as well go check them out. They may be your cup of tea, they may not. So I think we're done talking about all the stuff we want to talk about. So go into the show notes here and get your PDFs. There's 3 of them. The one we're going to be doing is the easy one for the beginners. And yeah, we're done. Come on in and let's get this sewing. Okay, we're at the sewing machine, and we've got our tools ready for the foundation paper piecing. Now, I've got my stuff already cut, so that's going to help speed this along too. Now what I've done is I've gone along the lines with like a tracing wheel. And this tracing wheel, you can actually now see the bumps from the back. Let me just see if you guys can't see the bumps there. I'm hoping you can see that. It's not coming up really great on my screen, but it's there. Also, you need a ruler. Like I have an add-a-quarter ruler that I really like. The newer ones that they're making now are a little wider, but they have a lip. Now, if you don't have one of these, that's okay, because your ruler, your regular ruler has a 1/4 inch line, right? So, you know, it's kind of overkill, but I just find this is much faster. Also, a rotary cutter and tape. Tape is your friend. Oh my goodness, is tape your friend? And a little scissor and a paper scissor to cut the pattern out, right? Now, what I did is you can see all of this. I don't know if maybe you're reading it upside down. Yeah, there it is. So I know exactly what color I'm going to put in where. That helps me very, very much. And it just makes this whole thing easier. I'm not sitting there guessing as to what I'm putting in next or where it goes what next, right? Now you've got our A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. Like this is numbered in order. Any pineapple, you're going to start from the middle, go all the way around, right? Trim, then go all the way around the next round, right? That's the beauty of pineapples, right? Now, so let's get started. And how I'm going to start this, I'm just going to move some of this out of the way because there's lots of stuff going on. Now, how I did this was I decided, okay, I'm going to cut a red piece. Now this red piece is just a little bit big, but that's okay. That's okay. Now I'm just going to line this up so that it is on the 1/4, right? There's a 1/4 inch on this side and a 1/4 inch, I need to move this up just a hair, on this side. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, you can either pin this in place. Some people prefer glue. I would shy away from glue. Now what other people have done, okay, so you just want to check it with a window to make sure that, you know, all your pieces are going to line up. So this is the one we're doing first, right? A3. Okay, so A3 is right here, this spot. So you need 4 of these, right? And I just cut up a fat 1/4 because I can. It is so wonderful. I can just right? You know, just often I do, right? Okay, so I'm just going to cut the end off of this. Okay, and I'm going to put that in the pet dog, or dog. Now I'm just going to go make sure I'm about 1/2 inch over on either side of that line that I can see from the back from my tracing wheel, right? So I'm just going to cut just like so. And I need 4 of them. So while I'm here, I might as well cut the next one. And there we are. So this piece here, it's going to fall off in a second, goes back into the pile. Very simple, right? Now I cut these also a little wider than needed because sometimes with foundation paper piecing, you have to go wide. Now, also another thing I'm going to show you about these kind of paper piecing patterns is you can pin more than one. More than one at a time can be pinned, right? And I'm just going to put the pins in so the white piece will stay in place. Now this is the other side that I put in. This is the beauty of this one. So I put it up so it's like 1/2 inch over on either side, right? Just like so, right? And I put one pin in here, just like that, and the other pin in here. Okay, and you're sitting there, wait a minute, what are you doing? I'm going to show you how to cheat on these because A2 is not cut. I'm just going to bend this over because I want it to be trimmed so I know where to lay my white piece. Just bear with me here. And I'm also going to do A5 while I'm here because I might as well. Okay. When you see your pieces, now let me get this trimmed and I'll show you on the back. Oops, okay. Okay. when you see pineapples like this, now this is something I drew into this so you guys, the beginners, have an edge, right? So you can just lay these down, kind of, you know, eyeball center them between, you know, the edges, right, that you're doing. Because now you have the right amount of red underneath, right? So you can use that red as your guide. Now, what I did with this is I made sure you guys could cheat. Right, now this is a very simple pineapple all of a sudden because I'm going to lay out all 4 at once and I'll show you why. I have more than a 1/4 inch here, so I can just roll around, okay? I can just roll around this piece. I flip it over, right? Because that's how this is going to be sewn, right? So I can just go, when I flipped it over, I can go from one line to the next line to the next line to the next line because I've got more than a 1/4 inch. I'm not going to sew one piece on top of the other. Now, if your center is smaller and you've just got a 1/4 inch, don't do this, right? But because it's like a good 1/2 inch here all the way around, you know, you can do this. And I'm going to show you right now how to do this very quick. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one we start on. We're going to lift our foot. And I have a open foot so I can see it well. And I'm just going to hold it in place. Okay, make a few stitches up and down. Go all the way to the end. Go 1/4 inch halfway, right? Now, I'm going to pick this up, give it a little tug, make sure that I move some stuff out of the way. I'm going to hold it down. There we go. Go right across. Hold it in place a bit. I'm going to let it go up and down a bit. Then pull this out. Okay. Go down, up and down. There, sew on the line. Now the last one is right there. There we go. There. So, you're sitting there. Oh my God. Now, a lot of people, when they're doing pineapples, you cannot do this. I built this into this pattern so we could give the beginners a big edge. Now, when you're doing something like this, right, when you've got this massive edge as to how, you know, how fast you can do this. Let me just get the bobbin here and cut all my threads and I pull them up and get them out of the way. Because that thread, you do not want the this thread. And now you can see that none of the fabric has been sewn down, right? So there's your cheat. I decided to be very kind because I know sometimes beginners get frustrated and, you know, not all patterns can do that. But this one now, if I had an iron, you would just take this and iron this out just like so, all the way around. You haven't got anything sewn in on this seam, right? Your pieces aren't cut big enough so that they get sewn into this seam. Like this one is cut at the right length. So here we go. We're just going to put this in place just by finger pressing. Now, if you're doing this and you're doing a whole quilt, you would set up all your blocks. Let's say you're doing, you know, 49 blocks because these are big blocks, right? So you'd have a 7x7 layout. You'd do 49 blocks all at once, and this would be your first round. Right? So that's also a faster way of doing it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the yellow. The next round is right here. I'm going to just trim all of this at once because I'm going to do the same thing on the yellow. And we get the next yellow. Oops, get that one out. Okay. Yeah, this was a fun... I sat there like, how can I make this easy for beginners so that they could, you know, do this really quick. And there's probably some people that are, you know, intermediate or hard and they're just struggling with their scraps. Like I'm using with this, I'm using the same yellow throughout because I pulled larger fabric for my because I'm doing a big quilt, right? But I mean, you could do this all scraps. Every color under the sun could go into these pineapple blocks if you wanted. And those quilts look beautiful. I am just, you know, like, wow. Okay, so now we've trimmed it all. So we're gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna pull this over, grab our yellow, because that's next, right? The yellow is next. I love this yellow. It's not really a yellow, it's kind of a gold, but we have some gold in this background solid, so that's gonna be pretty cool. So again, you're laying this out, kind of eyeballing the middle. Yes, you've got room. Get your pins over here because we need them closer. And there, right there, right there. And you just start laying them out. This is taking all of your guesswork out of your pineapple blocks. And again, you have more than 1/4 inch. Just kind of maybe slide it over just a bit. So, there we go. So yeah, I'm kind of anxious about the twinkle twinkle. I haven't even started sewing it yet. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I should get that done. But I'll get there. I'll get there. Eventually I'll get there. There we go. Get that one in place. Like I say, your logs only have to be like 1/2 inch over the line, you know, so that, oops, I'm just gonna go like that with this. And you kind of eyeball the center. Not even 1/2 inch, but like 3/8, if, you know, really, if that's where we're going, is like 3/8, but okay, now, all right, and all 4 laying in place. Again, we have the 1/4 inch or more, right? You'll see more of this as we progress in the block. And this is the fastest cheat ever. Let's see, make sure I'm all lined up. Got my thread all going the right way. No, I do not. Ugh, of course it's not gonna line up. Lie flat. There we go. And you just hold it, making a knot, and then you sew the line. Like when you're making a knot, go up and down a couple times. Go 1/4 inch pass up and down, like, you know, 5 times or whatever. Then you pull it this way, and you set yourself up again. There we go. Oops, did that. Now, oh, I can't see it. All right. Here, now did I go wrong? Nope, I went right. Okay. I thought I bubbled. it. Okay. Up and down a few times, make your knot. Go around. There. You want to just go 1/4 inch past where your lines are. And I haven't got anything flipping on me in the back, which is so nice. Mind you, if that happened, I would show you guys how to fix it. So, there. And now, also with the red being so large, you know, you could use large scale prints too, right? And that would be kind of a nice touch for your quilt. That, you know, everyone has 4 to 9 of these have, you know, a big large scale print in the middle. That would be kind of cool to have, actually. Okay, I'm just going to get this all clipped and trimmed. And now we're back to the low volume, right? The trick with pineapples is knowing where you're at and what you sew on next, right? And this is why it's important when you're numbering those pineapples to see where your numbers are. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go like that. Make that, there we go. There. Next up, just go around here with my fingernail real quick. Quick like a bunny. but the red is also, it's big enough for a large scale, so you could put like some fussy cutting in there or whatever, right? Whatever you'd like to do. So once you're past the yellow, now we're going to go back to the low volume. And here we go. I'm just going to trim that real quick. There, again. Yeah, the new add a quarter rulers are all wider and they're probably much safer to use. And when I cut my finger, oh, when was that already this year? It was a while back this year. Yeah, it hurt because, it really hurt because it was all, you know, the top of the nail got cut too. It was just like, ooh, it was very, very nasty. So that's why we came out with a rotary cutter safety. But I was doing foundation paper piecing with this ruler in particular. But I noticed now all the new rulers are safe. So I'm going to have to save up some money here and get myself a new ruler. Okay, so it's all trimmed now for the low volume. So again, you pull one string out and we get rid of the selvage on the one end. Okay. There. I really like this fabric. This was so much fun. Now this is the one, so we want to go 1/2 inch over on each side. Okay. Okay. And that might be a little big, but that's okay. Now, there we go. I need 4 of them. So I might as well just roughly trim all 4 out right away. There. I'll get this off. Yeah, I love pineapples. The other one is that I really love is those pine burn quilts. Oh my gosh, those are gorgeous. And they just use, basically it's a prairie point quilt. Lovely. Just so, so lovely. Okay, let's get this baby on here. Okay. Get my pins over close at hand so I have them. Yeah. I just love pineapple. I've always loved pineapple quilts. You could throw so many things into a pineapple quilt and have it look, just come out like just absolutely gorgeous, right? I mean, pineapple quilts lend themselves to being very, very scrappy. And, you know, they're always so lovely when they're done. Okay, here we go. There. And again, you got more than 1/4 inch, so you can use this cheat method of going 4 at a time. Is that 4 at a time where you're putting 4 logs on at a time? I guess, and these are called logs, by the way, for your pineapple. These things are called logs. When you're doing it this way, you put 4 logs on a time, it really speeds up the process here very quickly. I'm spending more time explaining it than I am sewing. Oh no. There we go. There. Just. There. Ah, come on. Get the paper. There. Okay. So, let's get this baby sewn up. So now, okay, where did you go? I flip it over and we're going to do this line. Okay, make sure that's all there. Okay. And you start 1/4 inch back. Hold your paper, don't let your paper move. That way you create a little knot. And then hold it again at the end once you're 1/4 inch past. There we go. Just every once in a while, just check to make sure something hasn't flipped. And the last one. There we go. There we go. See how fast that is? That is just, you know, incredibly fast. How, you know, fast you can just sew this around and be done. Get this done off here, like so. Okay. Now, because we're trimming now for the green, I'm not going to bother trimming these strings here for the bobbin strings, because I think I'll end up cutting them off, and that might save us some time here too. Now let's just pull those out nice and neat, real quick, like give it a good finger press real fast. Like I say, if you were doing this at home, I do not have room when I've got this to have an ironing board out, so this, it's frustrating, I know. And yes, when I'm doing something, I make something very, when I'm making something special, I iron everything. Everything gets ironed, you know, so. There. And yes, I cut my string off. Yay. That's nice to know. So I'm just cutting the green, which would be my next row, because you're putting in color. Because I've marked my block, color, you know, which color, and then low volume. Right, so that speeds this process along, and you know, makes you a little more efficient. You know, if you're more efficient, you grasp this a little quicker, and you know, you're probably happier with the results. So let's get this last one. Okay, it's not a race, but sometimes I find when the project is too complex or too overwhelming, people don't want to finish it, right? So anyway, so here we are. Next up is the green, and here's my green. I've already pre-cut the green as to what size I need, so it's a matter now of just pinning it in place. There, and we'll get the pins over here yet again. I know, this is kind of like, oh my god, how many times are you going to pin the same thing? Yes, I know. So pin. Okay, get the next one up, the next log up. Kind of center it. Yes, we've centered it. Here we go. And as you go out, the further out you go, the more room you get, the more room you acquire, right? So, oh my goodness, I'm bleeding. Okay, well, we can't use that finger anymore. Well, is it showing on that fabric? No, okay. It's not showing on the fabric, so we're good. So we're good. It's showing just a little spot here on the back, but yeah. I must have pinned myself. I must have nicked myself with a pin. That's weird. Okay. Now let's get this under. Okay. There, now, you pull it out, there, just a bit. There we go. Yeah, everything's there. And the last log gets sewn on, and I'm just going to check. Yeah, it's so good. Why, what's sticking here now? Why is it sticking? Okay. That something was causing drag, so I found out it was probably a pin. That's okay. Here. And now the next row is the last low volume. Okay, so we're good. Okay. Just take this and get this, move this all around. I put my finger under the thread on top just because, you know, it pulls the back tight. Oops, here we go. There we go. Get rid of that one and that one. Okay. Now, pull some pins. Okay. So, finger press out. And my finger finally quit bleeding. Yay! Well, that's bad. There. Yeah, I came across a bunch of really cool. This is there, holding up the works here. There we go. Now, again, we're going to we're going to cut this so that we get the last piece on. Right. I did bleed a bit on the green, but I think I'm cutting it off, so. Yes, we did. Ha ha ha. I know. It's like, you know, you cut yourself or you poke yourself. Don't bleed on the fabric, right? I mean, you could be, you know, spurting blood, but just don't bleed on the fabric. I would hate to cut myself in one of these films. But while we're filming, I wouldn't show it. I wouldn't air it if we filmed it, but, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, just, yeah, don't bleed on the fabric. I'd probably poke myself. There. And last up is this one. Now this is the last of the low volume, which is perfect. There. Now, the low volumes have to be, these are too small. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay, so I'm just going to, see, 1, 2, I'm just going to cut off. I'm going to take these and cut off both selvage edges because I think that would be useful. Well, sorry about that. We lost camera all of a sudden. So what I'm going to do now, I've got all my the last row of the low volume pinned on in place. And again, I'm just going to go under here with my needle. Now, the trick I'm showing you here where you can sew all the way around, you can take any pineapple, and as you know, because sometimes the pineapple blocks, they start out really small in the center, but once you're past that really small area and you've got some, you know, like 1/2 inch or more, you know, to be placing your bricks on, you know, where it's, like I showed you at the beginning here, you can do this with those pineapples as well. And it does speed along your pieces, right? A lot of people forget that. You can take this trick, even though I designed this particular block with the beginners in mind, you know, and help them through, why is this thing? Okay, this is not working out right. Why? There, okay. There we go. Yeah. You know, just because I taught you this trick for the beginners right from the word go, you know, they got the intermediate and the hard ones the people who are doing those ones, they can do the same thing with theirs. I mean, but it is a trick you can do with any pineapple block once you get past a 1/2 inch, where there's 1/2 inch space on the corners of where you're placing your logs. So that's kind of a fast cheat for everybody. Okay. Now, and there we go. There. There. Now we push this out. Oh wait, I should probably get rid of my joining threads out here. Because it will affect, this will affect how we take the paper off. Okay, so let's get these finger pressed out. Like I say, it's this becomes sew, press, trim, no, sew, prim, no. Trim, sew, press. Trim, sew, press. That's the rhythm you get into with this. So, like I was saying earlier, if you were doing, you know, a larger king size quilt or a queen size or whatever with this block, any pattern, pineapple block, you would do all of them at the same time, right? And if this one, you're doing this one, because you can start right away with that trick with the low volume, it's, you know, it would just be done in no time. And you can go as scrappy as you like. Okay, let's trim this baby up since we're talking about this rhythm that we get into with this block. And we're now going to just put the corners on. Okay. Now, here's another secret. You know, we talked about stay stitching, right? Once I get the blue on, you know, I'm gonna, you know, press it out, and we're, you know, trim it up if necessary. I might do my stay stitching before I trim, but you do your stay stitching to avoid distortions on the edges of your block. Now, because of the way I cut my logs out of this particular block, they're on straight grain. On the outside edge is all straight grain. Sometimes when you're working with a lot of scraps, and you know, sometimes the scrap fits, but it's not straight grain, but it still fits, and you're going to use it because it's a fun color and you want to move it out, and you know, all these things start to occur. You know, that's when you've got to sit there and go, okay, yeah, we need, as soon as you don't know what your edge is, even for a little bit of the block, you need to stay stitch. Now this, even these triangles, I printed, or I cut with straight of grain in mind, right? So, you know, I'm not like going at this blind. You know, like I made sure I cut big enough blocks so I would have straight edge on the edge of the block. You know, so, but yeah, that's something to keep in mind. That's why you're doing stay stitching around the end of the block, at the end, right? You don't want your blocks to get all distorted. And once I get my stay stitching on, once it's on and everything is happy and I haven't pulled any stitches out and all the rest of the stuff, then I can take my paper out, right? So that's pretty much where we go. You know, like once your stay stitching is on, yeah, you can pull out your paper. Sometimes when I'm working like really tiny blocks and quite a number of them, what I will do is I will wait to remove the paper until I get it into a bigger block, then do the stay stitching for the large block, just because it's a little easier. So now all the triangles are on. Flip this baby over. Flip this over and start to sew. Oh, what? Is it this? Okay, I don't know what's pulling, dragging. Something is causing drag. There we go. And next up is the next one. There we go. There we go. And the last one. Okay, now Okay, now it looks like I didn't make any mistakes, but let's flip this baby over. No, I did not. We have no flip seams. Now, if you are a beginner and you don't know what to do when you flip a seam, right? And people get kind of like, okay, now that I flipped the seam and I sewed it wrong, how do I fix it? This is where you pick from the side with the fabric. It's very important you pick from the fabric side. If you pick from the paper side, you're just going to rip your paper, and it's not going to work out for you, right? So that's something to keep in mind, right? That you're looking at the fabric side first. And people, I know when we do foundation paper piecing, we reduce our stitch length, right? So this picking becomes more difficult, right? And it's very true, it does become more difficult. Now, I'm just going to quickly do the stay stitching. A new needle also helps when you're doing your foundation paper piecing. Okay, and I want to make sure I don't do anything silly here. There. So if I was doing a big quilt, I would do this for all, 49, like if you're doing a 7x7 layout, or 64, like if you're doing 8x8, depending on what size quilt you're going to make. This is a 12-inch block when it's done. So you kind of have to, okay, how big do I want my quilt? And this does suck up a lot of scrap. And the last round. Okay, the last round is here. There we go. And cut that thread off. Now, just like that. Now I still have to trim up my seam allowance and all that stuff and make it a 12.5-inch square. But this is what this block looks like now. And yeah, so let me trim it up and we'll get to our ta-da moment. Okay, so here's our big ta-da moment. This is the beginner pineapple, and it came together really quite quickly. Sorry about the lost video, but you didn't lose, we think you didn't lose a lot, but you did lose some. But that's okay. So anyways, now some people have asked and asked and asked. I put the stay stitching around the outside edge. Yes, most of the edges here are probably straight grain, but I put it in there because that's how I was taught how to do it. And this takes absolutely no time to peel. Now you can peel from whichever direction you want to peel it. Whether you want to peel from the outside and work in, or in and work out, or start on the left hand side and go from left to right. It's up to you how you want to do this. Grandkids are great at this. Trust me, they're really good. My oldest grandson helped me peel I don't know how many minis paper piece minis that we did for Mini Monday. He was like, okay, am I working for potato chips and pop? But maybe, who knows. But he had a good time, and we got to show him how to do all this fun stuff. So, there we go. I'm just, okay, just almost there, just a couple more pieces. Yeah, so what I like to do is take this, watch a movie, put my feet up, and sit and peel a whole bunch of these at once, because then you're making one mess, not 7. Now, you notice, if you're doing this, your stuff that's on your stay stitching just falls off. It just comes off just very quick. Just basically, you don't have to do much to get this off at all. This is like no pressure kind of peeling. And we're done. That's how fast. You guys watch me do it, you watch me sew it, and you watch me do it. So, This one was designed so that you guys would understand how the cheat on pineapple quilts goes. But I mean, you can use that cheat on anything. Once you're past a 1/2 inch between, you know, like the side of your fabric to the once your logs are offset by 1/2 inch, then you can do this, that cheat. But we did the cheat right off the hop for the beginners. Now, this is a beginner block. Oops, here, I'm going to get this out of the way because I can have all this here. Okay, so this is the beginner's block. Now, the beginner's block, or the intermediate block has a little tinier, the logs are smaller. It's great scrap buster, guys, great scrap buster. And I just picked like one foundation, or like one low volume, but you could pick multiple low volumes. Your pineapples, like the green round, doesn't even have to be the same green round, or it doesn't have to be the same fabric. None of this has to be the same fabric when you're going around these. So, and then some people too, what they do is they invert this. This is the low volume and this is the color, right? Like the color goes out to the corners and this then becomes the low volume. That looks beautiful too. So you guys play, you do what you need to do. Now, the hard one, I have to admit, this one was so much fun to do. I was just like, oh, we should do a whole quilt of this. No. But again, this one lends itself to being scrappy. Now, what is here is not black. It is navy, right? The camera looks like it's picking it up as black, but any very dark, you know, like if you're looking for like aubergine or something like that instead of black, yeah, you could do aubergine. A real chocolate brown would also work. Real deep dark red, like almost like a black red. You could do the same, get the same effect out of this. I had so much fun putting this one together, and this one does not take as long as you think it takes, because once you're past the yellow round. Once you're past that yellow round, you can use your cheat again, right? So, and it works for both. The cheat is also, you can use the cheat on both the navy and the color or low volume, right? Once you're past this area here. So, I do hope you guys are giving these a try. And like I say, they're a free pattern for you to play around with. And if you don't want to do quilt bingo and you just want to make a pineapple quilt, that's up to you. But we did have a lot of fun with this. So I hope everything is well with you and you take care and life's treating you great. Okay, stay well until we see each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life and, you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your lives and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.